Welcome. I'm Danielle Sally.
And I'm Eva Fusa.
And you're listening to Ghost Boss, stories about the freelance afterlife. Hey, ghosties.
Hey.
We're back.
Oh, my God.
With an extended holiday break.
It's all my fault.
It's not your fault.
No, it is. I'm going to make them all feel bad if they have attitude
It was reasons more so from your life,
fault.
but it wasn't a fault.
Okay.
Just explain.
You're being really nice. So, yes, Happy New Year's. We're back. It's February. And
Whoopsies.
So we did not get into the studio in January as planned. If you personally know me, you know everything that I went through. If you don't personally know me, let me make you feel bad if you've had attitude.
Yeah. If you're like, where are those ghosties at?
I was putting my dog down.
Yeah.
So January tried to kill me. I saged too hard. And 2025 is trying to get everything out.
Yeah.
First thing. And so my beloved Ulysses S. pant. I'm going to try not to cry because I'm wearing mascara.
Yeah, don't ruin the makeup.
I know. My beloved Yuli, who was 11 and a half, had a seizure one night and then had another seizure the next day. And a couple days he wasn't eating and then he couldn't walk. And for those of you who've met him, you will know the alarmingness of this statement. When I took him into the vet's office less than a week after the seizure, he hadn't barked in 4 days.
That's wild.
Yeah. So, and within like 20 minutes, we had to put him down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm
11
sorry.
and a half. They're pretty sure he had a brain tumor. They were like, you can pay $4,000 to find out for sure. But then they were like, are you going to do brain surgery? Are you going to do chemo? Right. And so then I looked that up later out of curiosity, and, like $15,000, $20,000, $25,000.
Yeah.
So maybe buy him 6 more months.
Yeah.
That where he didn't understand. Yeah. So I had to put my dog down.
I'm sorry. I unfortunately know that pain and it's not easy. So when we were trying to figure out when to come back to the studio, for me, it was we need to we make these decisions. Yeah. We determine Ghost Boss. So hopefully you're all okay with it. If you weren't okay with it, now you feel like a jerk.
You can at me. Because on top of that, I had a bunch of medical stuff going on. I'm fine. I will not go into details about that on here because I overshare enough as is. But I had some medical stuff going on and I had some testing and everything's fine. Everything's fine. But I had to get
She's here, guys.
But I had to get that straightened out in January. Yep. I had a lot of single mom stuff happening. Yeah. Some stuff I needed to get done for my son. And also it looks like I'm on track to bill out more work in January than I did in December and November combined.
It's probably because we haven't been in the studio.
Maybe. So I've been a bit busy.
A little bit.
So we hustled to get back in today because we did not want to leave our ghosties behind.
No, we enjoy being able to push out episodes to our loyal listeners.
I love it. So that's enough of my bummer update about
welcome back.
Hello. Eva made it weird.
It's fine.
So that's why we've been a little MIA.
Yeah.
So we're going to pretend. Actually, we're not going to pretend. It's fine. It's fine that we
say this all the time. This is life.
It is.
And we go with it.
It is. But we are back from the holidays.
Yes.
So last year, our first episode back, we talked about New Year's resolutions and stuff. And then we checked in later and I didn't do any of mine. Yeah. So it's fine. So I don't know that we really want to talk about New Year's resolutions, but I thought we could, talk about the holidays, the holiday bounce back, as I call it.
You text that and I said, that's what the topic.
Yeah.
Right there. The holiday bounce back.
Yep.
It so perfectly describes from work-wise bouncing back and life-wise bouncing back because you go into this just holiday cave.
Right.
And so there's so many, I just love the term when you said it. I was like, this is the topic.
Yeah.
That feeling. And we've been going through it all January and it's part of why we're not in the studio until February, but we're talking about it now.
Yeah. Because part of why I'm billing out so much right now is because I did take actual time off in December.
Yes.
Which was great. But then everything that I told myself I would do when I came back, I was like, oh my God, I'm back.
The first week of January, I always hate December me. With all the circling back of we'll handle that in January.
Yeah.
And then January me is like, hey, December, Danielle, you could have just handled it then.
Right.
But you didn't want to.
No.
And now January you is screwed.
I had this trifecta happen, which is fine. It was a bunch of stuff that I was like, I really need to take the time off. It's important. So let me like push the stuff that's not urgent to the new year. So it was that. I had a lot of people call me that first week of the new year, or even like text me a couple days before the new year. And they were like, so apparently my CEO didn't really take a break and has been thinking about a bunch of stuff. And now I need you to turn something in like 4 days.
Yeah.
So I took I had a bunch of rush stuff coming in. And then third, I had a bunch of people text me that were like, hey, remember that time in November we talked about that project and you said you'd get back to me? And like, I didn't really have a deadline. So it like wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, but now it is.
But like now, like, could you actually do the work? So you said that to me. Thank you for being patient with me. I'm so sorry. But also if you don't give me a deadline,
oh, I know.
I tell you, I'll get to it.
If I don't have a deadline, sometimes I'm like, can we make up a deadline? Right. So I feel like there is one, because unfortunately, if you don't have a deadline, if anything does come up with a deadline, it might get pushed.
Right. Well, so one of these projects, they wanted to have stuff ready for like a holiday market. And then they were like, actually, we're not going to do that. So originally I thought it was going to be really tight. And then I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, we're fine.
Yeah, it's fine. And then so I did it all in like a day and a half.
Yeah.
We're doing great.
Whew.
It's fine.
It's been busy.
It's fine. Okay, so we bounced back from the holidays.
We bounced back.
The audience doesn't really want to hear a whole lot because it's February.
It's February now. We're trying to catch up.
Right. I'm going to say Happy New Year's to you to be annoying. Happy New Year's. But I would love to hear about, do you have resolutions this year? Did you do anything to kind of usher in the new year? As usual, I have answers to my own question. But like, and is your perspective this year any different from your perspective starting last year, since we captured that on the podcast?
Yeah.
Both personally, professionally, et cetera.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, whenever I drive into the studio, I usually
sounds like you're crashing into it.
When I drive right in, I just park right in the lobby at SoCo.
It's fine.
You don't have to pay for parking though. Columbia raised the rates. So.
There's no meter in this room. I don't know.
Try and stop me. It won't end well. Anyway.
Oh, we're back. Oh, this is great. We're back.
But when I make the commute to the studio, I always try to listen to the last episode of Ghost Boss that was out.
Oh, did you do that this time?
So and it was
a millennia ago that we recorded it.
And it was very interesting listening to our Unwrapped episode.
Oh God, we did do that.
End of the year Unwrapped. Well, because I actually didn't listen to it since I hadn't been doing the drive.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't listen to it, and I finally listened to it while published. Obviously, I listened to it before it gets published.
I just blindly publish stuff. It's fine.
So I listened to it on the way in, and it was interesting hearing we're talking about the goals that we hit last year and the goals we want, and like how even some of my perspectives have changed within like, again, December me versus January me.
But like a few weeks.
Yeah. And it's like, it's just interesting how the new year just can change your mindset.
Yeah.
But in there, I said like, maybe we just don't have goals. And then I joked that that's impossible for me.
You can't do that. You're an Aries.
No,
Absolutely
I can't.
Not.
I can't. Not. And I also said I was determined to hit 10K on Peloton. And I will tell you,
do it?
I did hit, because I couldn't not do it.
Oh, I missed my book goal by, I think, 98 books.
That's the thing, though. If I was at 5,000 minutes, I would have been like, it's not going to happen. I was so close.
Sure.
So, I think 10K is just always my goal on Peloton. So, but then I did do something that I can share. But when I first started my business, and I've talked about this on the podcast.
I'm like on edge. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I mean, you will.
I know, but like normally I'm like going along.
Yeah. You're like, it's a new story.
I'm like, y'all, I have no idea where we're going.
She's grabbing the table.
Literally, like, what are we doing?
Well, I was thinking a lot. I do a lot of reflecting at the beginning of the year. And I was thinking about, okay, when I first started this business, I had some very simple goals. And one of the things was just make sure I can maintain the salary that I had before. So, and I've been doing that and exceeding it, which is fantastic.
Yay!
But the other goal, which I didn't think would be I didn't think it would be a first year thing. It would have been amazing if it was. I wasn't sure if it'd be a second year thing. To me, it was a very big goal.
Yeah.
But that was to win an Addy as a freelancer.
Yay.
Because, and I said this in the, I can't remember what episode it was. I do remember recording myself saying it, but just saying it's going to hit so much different to walk up there to win an Addy for something I did for my company.
Yeah.
And I got the email yesterday, as you know. I got the email saying that I officially won in Colombia. And I had a client enter work in Amarillo, Texas, and I won there too.
Congratulations.
I'm just like, it's just goosebumps. But I feel like it's everything that it just kind of reminds me, and I don't have to win a trophy to feel this way. I physically have to. I have to win. You listening don't have to win trophies, but I need it.
Yeah.
But it just kind of reminds me that like, this is like, I am in the right space right now. Yeah. This is where I'm supposed to be in this moment of life. I made the right decision going into the freelance afterlife. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to it. This is a good way to hit off the year I turned 40. Yeah. I'm loving it. Aww. So, but as far as other goals, I haven't really thought about any new additional goals that I'm setting for. I mean, I just haven't. I don't know.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I mean, that in and of itself is kind of a big deal for me. It is. Just go with the flow.
I don't know how long you're going to go with it.
No, by March, I'll have a 5-year plan. That's
perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. And next year, you can go till middle of April. We'll get you there.
Yeah.
We'll get you there.
So I do think, though, I do want to, I appreciate that we do Ghost Boss. One, it's a creative outlet for both of us. Yep. And two, it is good. It's a marketing platform, right? But I also want to see how we can get Ghost Boss to continue to grow even more. And I think we always talk about this. Part of this is in really embracing the freelance community and getting the freelancers into the studio with us to talk about how wonderful this community is and the impact that it has on their career. So I think one of my goals is to continue to grow Ghost Boss. Yeah. And just see where it goes from there.
Aww.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel good. I won awards and I feel good.
Aww.
So I talked a little bit about some previous goals I've set that I've hit this year, which are good. I haven't really thought about next year. I don't really do specific things on New Year's.
Oh, I do.
So let's dive right into that part for you of like, please share with the audience the things that you did this year.
Oh, there's so many. There's so many. So first off, my December ended kind of quietly, which was interesting because I took some time off work and spent some time with my friends and spent some time around my house. And that made usually the end of the year is so busy at the holidays for me, and it ended really quiet. And so then to transition into New Year's and then I have a list, guys, of all the things I do on New Year's, which is this really interesting transition time of I don't know. I literally watched everything get quiet and then watched everything kind of be reborn.
Yeah.
And specifically in December, there was this moment that I just wanted to share. Hearing you talk about winning an Addy and how meaningful that is and how incredible that is. My big hallmark for me this year was very different.
Yeah.
So I've kind of alluded to it in the past and I didn't really spell it out. But for those of you who don't know me personally, I am now divorced. And so when I started my business, I was married and now I'm not. It's official as of October. And so this fall was very different than any other year I've ever had.
Right.
And the holidays were different than any other year I've ever had. And there was a night that I was wrapping all my Christmas presents and I didn't do any of my present wrapping until the last minute.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get into the holidays the way I did the year before. We talked about that. I did not put the inflatable up. And
one person on YouTube was angry.
Oh, he was big mad.
And I was just like, ma'am, you can calm down.
I was like,
listen to the episode and you will eat your words.
It was like, make memories with your kid. I was like, I am making plenty of memories.
Calm down,
he wants his memory to be me yelling in the front yard. Yes, frustrated. No,
apparently.
So one night I sat down and I wrapped all of my presents and I put them under the tree and I was sitting on the floor and I looked up and I had this big Christmas tree with all these gifts and I provided that.
Yeah.
I'm going to get emotional.
That's okay. You did that.
Took this little business that made no money in the beginning.
Yeah.
Based on this thing that I decided to do when I was 15. And I gave my son like a real Christmas.
Yeah.
Like,
and a home. Yes.
So it's not an Addy. And Addies are incredibly important. Like I'm not trying
they're still cool, but like I'd rather have money.
Yeah. But like just thinking about, like I just sat there in that moment and I was like, I did all of that.
Good. I'm glad that you took the time to sit and reflect that.
Yeah.
Because I think during the holidays, we can so easily just, it's go, go, go.
Yeah.
And we don't sit there and think, look what I'm doing with my, like, I'm able to contribute all of this, just doing what I love.
Yeah.
And that's the great part about all of this.
Yeah. And I've always felt really fortunate that like we get to do something that we love.
Yeah.
Because I talk to so many other people who are artists like us, because designers are artists. We commercialize our art to pay our bills, but we are artists at the core. And, you know, some people can't take their art or can't find a path where like what they love and have a passion and drive for pays their bills.
Right.
And like, I get it. I feel incredibly fortunate every day that I'm able to get up and do something that I absolutely love.
Yeah.
And that's no shade to anybody who their side hustle is where their passion is and they work at blah, blah, blah office. Great. I get it.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel incredibly fortunate that I get to do something I love for a living. And then I was always proud to like contribute to my household, but like this last year and a half, and like you personally know all this stuff because I've told you about it, but like I've never really been able to really open up about it on the podcast because it was just, it's messy. Like getting divorced is messy and complicated. And there was a lot of stuff that just should not be public, but to grow my business and really transition and really be able to figure out how to make it work for my son, like it just, I don't know. Yeah. It was a really special moment.
Good.
It's a really special moment.
I feel like there's definitely going to be other women that are listening to this that they want to start their own companies and maybe a lot of people are worried about doing so. And, you know, they're going through divorces too. And so I think it will be a nice moment for all of them to hear it from someone who was going through it and has made it so successful.
Yeah. It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And also I say this too, because I have several friends that aren't single moms and I have several friends who are single moms and most of them are divorced, but some of them are widows. And so sometimes you're a single mom and it's not because of a divorce.
Single mom can look different even within single.
Yeah. And so, you know, I just, particularly when I talk to younger women who are making decisions about the rest of their lives and what they want to do in regards to having children and their partnerships. And one of the great things about this skill set is it's something that we can maintain. Mm-hmm. So when I started working part-time, I scaled back how many hours I was doing initially because my son needed a lot of support and I was married and my partner provided enough at the time to where I didn't have to be running it like I am right now. Right.
Yeah. It's different now.
And had other things happen with my son and I needed to scale back more, that flexibility existed. But had I ever been in a circumstance where I was not working at all, I always tell women, like, let's say, and not just women, but particularly women, because it's just how it kind of plays out sometimes. It's like, let's say you get a graphic design degree and you work for a little while and then you get married and for whatever reason you decide that you're not going to work anymore. And maybe that's for kids. Maybe it's helping with elderly family members.
Yes.
I mean, like as millennials, we're getting older and we are caretaking on both ends of the spectrum sometimes. And what I always tell these people is I'm like, keep your work up.
Yeah.
Do your church newsletter, run your neighborhood social media account, do something, because I cannot tell you how many people, mostly women, but not exclusively, who leave the industry for whatever reason and then they try to come back and they have no work for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's just so hard to re-enter the workforce like that.
Because quite frankly, it's too competitive of a workforce to... You're going to get picked by someone who has more up-to-date work. Right. You're just going to.
Right.
If there's a big gap there and you haven't maintained your skills and maintained your portfolio, there's going to be someone else who has. Yeah. So a lot of it is just trying to make sure you are being competitive in this space right now.
Yeah. And I don't even need to see, as somebody who used to interview people, not typically anybody trying to re-enter the workforce, but usually a junior designer position. So sometimes you would see somebody who had left for 4 or 5 years and was trying to come back. But I certainly see it when I talk to other freelancers or other women in the industry. And you don't have to maintain some like insane freelance side work.
No.
You don't even have to get paid for the work that you're doing if that's not what's like essential to you.
Right.
When I look at a portfolio, I have no idea if you got paid for that project, how much you got paid for that project. So like if you want to make the t-shirts that the PTA sells, make the t-shirts that the PTA sells and put that in your portfolio. Keep track of that sort of thing. And I've just, not all skill sets can do that. And we are just in such a unique position.
Right.
There's so, especially with the internet now, like there's so much side work. There's so much freelance. There's so much, everybody needs a t-shirt or a logo.
Yeah,
or whatever.
right.
Like seriously. So just keep up like a little bit of side work if you're ever not doing this full time anymore, whether that be like a traditional gig or like freelancing or whatever. I just cannot overemphasize to people, you never know the circumstances that life is going to bring you.
Yes.
And when you're going to have to figure it out, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. And so maintain your work so that you can figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I cried wrapping Christmas presents. That's what it did. So that was December.
Good.
Right? This is a traditional Eva transition.
Yes.
I get really emotional. And then I'm like, so anyways.
I know. I was like, well, I wasn't ready for that bounce back.
Well, I mean, I'm a Pisces. I get in my feels.
I know. It's like, we've cried twice and you're just like, okay, guys.
Well, like the Capricorn moon in me is like, all right, get it together. Move it along.
I don't know. When I will easily cry, but then if someone near me is crying, then I turn into like, okay, I have to be the strong one now.
Oh, no. I cry with people. God, like if you take me to a funeral, not only am I trying to get work in the parking lot, but I'm hysterical in the church. I'm a mess. So, so that my December ended kind of quiet after I had Christmas with my son and then had some time when he was with his dad. And so I was actually home on New Year's Eve this year, which is unusual. Usually I'm with somebody out and about with friends or doing whatever. But I'd been with friends earlier in the day and I came home around 10. So I was home on New Year's Eve as the new year came in. So I spent it with my dog.
Oh, well, that's special now.
Now that fact that Yuli passed away like a couple weeks later, like really made that special. So here's the list of all the weird stuff I do.
Okay, let's get into it.
Okay, so simmer pot, sage. I covered a lot of this on a previous episode.
Yes.
Thank you, Danielle, for reminding me.
Yeah, she started listing. I was like, we talked about this 2 episodes ago.
She let me go on for a while, though.
She did, and I thought she was going to stop and remember, and she didn't.
And I did. Yeah, finally, she's like, by the way, I was
like, hey, so 2 episodes ago.
Now I feel bad that I made you listen to it again.
It's fine.
Anyway, so yes, I burned sage.
Yes.
On New Year's. Because I'm native. What else am I going to do?
Sure.
I did my simmer pot.
Okay.
I added some eucalyptus and lavender to it because I don't think I'd been doing that the last time I talked about it. So I added that. I didn't eat my lobsters. We talked about that. I ate round things. The grapes under the table.
Yes, we talked about that.
So I added a couple new things.
Okay, what'd you add?
I took an empty suitcase outside and walked down the block. That is a Hispanic culture thing.
Okay.
One of my friends, I'd read about it, but a couple of my friends told me to do it as well. Some of my friends from South America.
I'm just sorry. I'm picturing you walking.
Oh, if it wasn't so late in the month, I could probably pull the Ring camera clip.
I was like, it would be so much better on a Ring camera. Yeah. Like I was like just filming you, but no, just see it on a Ring camera. I would just
literally. Yep, my pink suitcase.
Oh, how big is the suitcase? Like, did you take a big one?
No, I took my little one. So it is supposed to bring in travel for the new year.
Okay,
because you're traveling with your suitcase.
Sure,
it does have to be empty.
Interesting.
And so I asked one of my friends, I was like, "What do y'all do if you go out?" She's like, "We bring it with us." I was like, "Oh my god." So, and then you're supposed to have money in your pockets.
Okay. And what's that do?
To bring money in for the new year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like, so I had to have cash. So cash.
You'll definitely have money in the new year if it's in your pockets.
No, it's supposed to attract money for the new year. And then I did my Hoppin' John's, the whole Southern thing I ate the next day, but I put a dime under my plate.
What's the dime?
The dime is supposed to like attract more money.
Okay. Well, so you just like money.
Yeah. Bring it on.
I was just sprinkled dimes all over your food.
Yeah. And then I was at my friend's house and they had a bunch of people over, and one of the teenagers there was wearing white because she's from Brazil. Her mother's from Brazil, and she's supposed to wear white at midnight to for a clean slate for the year. I did not get that.
I like that.
I wore the brown dress all day. I don't remember what.
I wonder what brown sends the message for the year.
It's the Pantone color of the year, guys.
That's true.
Yeah. So anyways, that's what I did on New Year's.
Yeah. It's funny. You said I did. We always do Hoppin' John. And I always, I don't want to because I don't like it. Well, but we always do that every year. So I did lie. We did do that.
Do you do black eyed peas or the Sea Island red peas?
Black eyed peas.
Okay. So 2 things.
Yes.
I'm going to give you the recipe for the Sea Island red peas.
Okay.
Because they're better than the black eyed peas.
Okay.
There's like a very specific recipe that comes from Charleston in the 1600s. And so I get Sea Island red peas that are from Edisto.
Yeah.
And that's what I make every year. Technically, I should be eating black eyed peas though, because black eyed peas.
I thought the whole point was to have black eyed peas.
Well, black eyed peas are specific to cities like Columbia and Atlanta. They become more like ubiquitous in everybody's culture. Mm-hmm. Reason why it's important in Columbia and Atlanta specifically is because when Sherman came through, they burned all the crop fields and they left behind the black eyed peas because they said only dogs eat that.
Gotcha.
And so the only thing we had plentifully in Columbia by the winter.
There we go.
Black eyed peas. So that's why technically I should be eating black eyed peas here.
All I know is I married a Southern man and I have to eat Hoppin' John every New Year's.
Does he make it with the Trinity?
He makes it. I don't know.
Okay, I will talk to your husband.
Just eating it.
I will talk to your husband. Okay. I make a good one. I only make it twice a year, and I make it with the Carolina Gold Rice. I only make it twice a year because the bag makes 2.
Yeah.
So I make it on New Year's Day, and then some random day I'll just make it.
Right.
Okay, so you did black one.
We did something. I forgot about it.
I did see a TikTok, also known as I read an article.
Yeah.
But I did see a TikTok where this guy was like, did you eat Hoppin' Johns or pork or whatever on New Year's Day for good luck? That's witchcraft. Welcome to the coven.
Ooh.
Because this whole idea that anything, some people will constantly point fingers, but that's witchcraft. He's like, technically anything that's a superstition. That's not
did you notice how I suddenly got more into it? Though?
Yeah,
you're like, oh, it's a witchcraft.
It's witchcraft.
Oh, I'm in now.
Technically, my simmer pot might be low-key witchcraft.
That one definitely is.
It's from Creator.
It's literally in the cauldron.
It is. I have been thinking if I should get a dedicated simmer pot because I wash it out and then I'm like, I'm going to make spaghetti in this. Yeah.
I think you should. I think you need a dedicated one.
Simmer pot?
Yes.
Okay, I'll work on that.
For your witch's brew.
So yeah, that's what I did. And then one other thing that I hadn't done before, I wanted to do a vision board.
Yes.
So everybody knows what a vision board is. And some people you can be old school and cut stuff out.
Right.
Or you can make a Pinterest one. So I kind of started a Pinterest one. And then I made a vision reel one night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So all these apps and stuff CapCut and all that kind of stuff, you can download these templates and upload photos.
Yeah.
And so I made a vision board reel for myself.
Fancy.
That I watch anytime I'm trying to stay motivated.
Yeah.
What I want to do for the year.
It's funny you brought that up because literally on the drive over, I was thinking about we should do a vision board for Ghost Boss.
Yeah. We can use my template.
Okay.
I will send you. Actually, after this episode, I'll show you mine.
Yeah.
Tell me if you think, because I thought about sharing it on my socials.
Yes.
And I was like,
you should share something on your social.
Sorry. I was going to do it on my personal social. Whoopsie. But then I thought it was a little weird. I know I'm talking on the podcast about my witch's brew and stuff, but I thought it was a little weird.
You just start with close friends and then move on.
Yeah. So you look at it and tell me if this is, and if you like it,
then we'll do more.
You can make one and then Ghost Boss can make one.
Okay, I like it. I like the plan.
But one of the things, so I put all kinds of stuff on there.
Yeah.
And some of it was places I wanted to travel, and some of it there's a working picture one, and some of it is, I think there's a literal picture of money somewhere in there.
Of course there is.
Right. But one of the things that I put on there was pictures of Pilates. And
you've been doing a lot of Pilates.
I've done 8 classes as of a couple hours ago since January 3rd.
There you go.
And we are recording a little early. So in January, I will have completed, I think, 9 classes.
That's good.
So it is my personality now.
Yes.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, you went all in.
Oh, yeah, I did. No, because...
But I can't say it like that's me in Peloton. Right. It's my life now.
2 things. First off, I got a new jumpsuit. So I would like y'all to know.
It's cute.
I have more than the green one. I have the black one now.
Well, you have to have multiple colors.
Well, they only make it in 2 colors.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
It is. But number 2, I would like you all to know that I don't post every selfie that I take of me at Pilates. I have withheld several, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Sorry, I'm thinking like must be millions.
There's a real good one that I'm just sitting on for the right day because I feel like I've gotten a little. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm excited. So I did a bunch of witchy stuff.
Well, that's good.
I started Pilates.
Nice.
I've been working a lot. And I put my dog down.
I feel like I jinxed it because we were talking about, I kept saying like, well, this December has to be better than my last December because my last December, my dog died.
You only didn't die till January.
Oh, jeez. I did feel some guilt. I was like, did I put that in the universe?
Give him a brain tumor?
Maybe. My dog did have a mass. Sorry. I make jokes during awkward times to cut the tension. Well, sorry about that. It's fine.
It's fine.
I was also going to add that I started playing tennis again, but that seemed like a weird transition.
Oh, after my dog? Yeah. He left a tennis ball.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Oh, man.
We'll figure it out. So yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Very cool. So I love it because, and again, this is why I went back to, I really like the term holiday bounce back because you went through something very big at the beginning of the year, and through the holidays. So it's more than just like the holiday bounce back, but like it's really that new year bounce back. And I think it's good that you have a lot of things during the New Year's that you do, but I think it's just nice to hear from another perspective of everything that goes on in the beginning of the year and how we bounce right back into it with work and life and everything and all the new things that we're picking up.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I used to get real fussy about, I wanted to buy a new planner and I wanted to do all this stuff and I would use it for a little while. And then it, like, the reality is like my workflow is my workflow. And like, it's not really going to change. So I did not do any of that this year.
Yeah. I bought a planner last year and I'm using the same one now.
That's what I'm saying. Like my workflow is still the same.
Yeah.
Which was kind of nice to just jump back in and not be like figuring out a new system.
Right.
But yeah, and we just got right back in the saddle.
Yeah.
Which is great, which is good. So yeah, we're back at it.
We're back at it. We're here and we're going to be back weekly.
Yeah.
Keep doing it.
You didn't sound real confident. Yeah.
I don't like to make promises. I can't keep.
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to record more than one episode.
There we go.
We're going to record more than one episode at a time. So when Eva's life falls apart,
we got it covered.
It's fine. It's fine.
And if you guys ever have an issue with us missing a week, remember, Eva's dog died.
That's right. The whole time we were like, Whitney's the only one's going to notice. And she knows exactly what's happening. Yes. I've overshared with her a lot about not just Yoli, but like she knows the ins and outs of my entire life. Of course. Well, I feel like I've overshared like normal.
You did overshare a lot, and I think that's okay.
That's fine. It's also on brand for me.
Yeah.
And also, if you think this is oversharing, you should meet me in real life.
You should be your friend.
We like to throw it back to the audience.
Yes.
So if there's anything that you did on New Year's that I need to add to my long list.
I'm always like, wow, you did all these things.
Please let me know. Oh, I'm real weird.
I can't even remember the one thing I did.
I'm real weird. But also, if you do some sort of like
witchcraft
boarding, manifesting is what we call it now. Yes. But yeah, if you do some sort of like, if you do vision board stuff, I think that's cool.
Yeah, I want to hear.
I want to see it.
Yes.
Well, hear it. How would we hear it?
Well, they could call.
You're right. To answer. You answer for me sometimes.
Sometimes.
I know.
Not always.
You're not going to answer them.
No, but I'll send the voicemail. And, well, actually, I'm not even going to listen to your voicemail.
No,
I read the transcript.
No, you're not.
Okay, fair. I'm not going to hear anything.
No, so please don't tell her about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you, I don't know. How are you kicking off the new year, even though this is February?
Yeah, how are you kicking off February's new year?
What did you do?
We're closer to the Lunar New Year.
We're past the Lunar New Year now. Okay. How about this? Since it is February, why don't you tell me what goals you set in January and how you've already not done them?
Yeah,
right? I want to hear about that.
We want to hear that.
I want to hear about that because my goal was to go to Pilates, and I'm obnoxiously going to Pilates.
Still doing it.
I love it.
It's pretty good. You made it to the end of January.
I am obsessed with it. If I could afford to go every day and get on that reformer machine, I would do it. I'm obsessed. I tell them every time because half the class is on the machine and half the class is on the mat. And I tell them every time, I was like, I'm just doing the mat work to be polite. I do not want to do that. I want to get on the machine and put my feet in those strap things and do what I got to do. But I'm going to be nice and do planks.
Ew.
They have me doing slides in a sumo squat today.
Oh, I do
with
like
a little disc. You know,
I like a sumo squat. I don't like a plank.
I don't like it. I want to be on the machine.
Fair.
I'll be on the machine.
All right. Well, I think that's all we have for today.
What else could I possibly
ramble about?
Actually, you know what? Don't ask me that.
We'll save it for the next episode.
No, I'm not. These things that I'm going to No, I can't. I can't talk about it. I can't talk about it. But anyways, it's great to be back.
Yes.
Sorry if this episode feels weird. We haven't been in a while.
And we're weird.
I have no idea the vibe until I go and edit.
Yeah. And then sometimes it ends up better than I think.
It typically ends up better than I think, but I don't promise until I get to editing.
Nope.
So if this was weird,
sorry.
I'd say sorry, but actually, no, it's on brand. You're welcome.
All right. We'll talk to you all next week. Bye.
Bye. Remember to follow us on Instagram at Ghost Boss Podcast. And also please like and review us on your favorite podcast app.